Hi, I'm Hayley Kay at Blackpool's Grand Theatre in dressing room number 2, otherwise known as the Christmas home of Steve Royle for Pantomime.
It's not very festive though, is it, this year?
Not as Christmassy as I've known it.
I can only apologise for that. I didn't bring any tinsel in. Last year I was showing my good friend Ronnie Leake.
Emperor?
Who was the Emperor.
Yeah.
And he brought in a little Christmas tree and he had spare tinsel and stuff. But I've got my Christmas cards up. I've got my good luck cards. That's one from you, Hayley.
There is.
There we go, with all the highlights of the Pantos we've done together. Some great photos on there. That's why it's in pride of place, you see.
Thanks.
There you go.
So I wanted to ask you, how's this year gone? I know you've obviously missed me, Steve, but that aside...
Terribly.
Aside, how's it been?
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah. I've always said it's a favourite Panto as well, you know, because we did it together 5-6 years ago. And but the cast this year were brilliant, absolutely brilliant again. And they'd all done it before, apart from JJ. Now, I have to say for JJ, he's just been amazing because he's learned, and more importantly, he's been willing to learn. You know what I mean? He's really absorbed every aspect of it. He said early on in rehearsals, he said, look, he'd been told it's a great experience and he wanted it to be, and because of that, he's took on board all the guidance and everything, and he's really seen him blossom into a brilliant personality on stage. You know, in the panto itself.
Because to be successful in pantomime, you've got to not be afraid to be
make a fool of yourself. You know, and he's in. Let's remember his background. He's from a boy band. You know what I mean? And
not Red Alpha being
serious,
like
exactly. You don't think of him joking himself as much, but he's really taking it on board. And he's been absolute joy to work with, as in every member of the cast.
Okay, here's a question. I know what you're like. At first, when we get into the show, everyone's dead sensible and wanting to get it all spot on. Then I think you get a bit bored because you know the script. You know where's everyone's supposed to be. Then you mess about and put people off. I know I'm always top candidate for.
I don't do it deliberately.
You do.
I don't. Well,
you do.
No, I do. Yeah.
So come on, what's gone wrong, or who have you put off, or who? Come on.
There's actual scenes in this panto where I've got almost license to put people off. There's the Frozen scene where Cinderella meets the prince at the ball and they freeze. The fairy freezes them both, and it's a little moment where me and the fairy, she explains that, you know, that she's found a true love, and Buttons can't be a true love anymore and all this. And so I can kind of play around because I put my arms, you know when you do that thing where you put your arms through them. So I have a scene where I do that, and that's got more and more ridiculous as we've gone on. I've got an absolute belter for today's performance, in fact. I can tell you.
Go on, you can tell me, because this, tell me.
I've got a belter. Well, I've got a friend from Little Trevor.
Oh yeah,
Little Trevor was one of the dwarfs in Snow White a couple of years ago. So I'm going to lift JJ off into the wings and swap him for a dwarf. Now, come on, that's brilliant, isn't it?
That is good. If
that doesn't put Olivia off, I don't know what will. She's got to remain really still like that, while I basically swap the prince for a dwarf. If I can get him dressed as the prince, even better. That'd be just perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh my god!
Well, so far I've done all the things like I've already swapped him for one of the stage crew.
Brilliant.
And then I've made him into a teapot, tipped him up.
Excellent.
And he's so rigid. He used to be a jockey, you know.
Did he?
JJ used to be a proper, you know,
Fashion
he rode
jockey.
for the Queen. He got, you know, rode proper winners at Newmarket.
That's amazing.
And so he's very strong.
Yeah.
So I can actually tip him over, lie him on the floor, and he just stays in whatever position he is. He's so
brilliant.
malleable.
Yeah. That's the word. Yeah, that's right word. Yes. So I know this is what your 15th.
Yeah.
And how is it now doing it all these years later? Because you've worked with some amazing people over the years.
Yeah. I've been very lucky, haven't I? Really. I think back at some of the people. Amanda Barry. The first time we did Cinderella, and she was fairy godmother there, and you know, just the work with, she was in the Carry On films.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She was Cleopatra in that. And then
was that your very first one then, Cinderella?
The first Cinderella. No, it was the first Cinderella. The first one I did was Peter Pan with Maureen Nolan.
Oh my god,
absolutely lovely.
So tell us about how you got your first job in the panto, because people always ask me like, how'd you get the job? How'd you get the job?
Do you know what? There's all kinds of myths surrounding this. I'm not the person to ask this, because there's a lot of people who claim to be the one who got me in here.
Oh, okay.
I was doing Panto in Preston for 4 years, and then they changed the company they worked with in Preston, and they didn't want me back. To be fair, they did, but at a price cut. And I don't do price cuts. Can I just say this? No, you don't start negotiating like that with me. And I said, well, look, I think I've done 4 years. I don't need to start cutting my money. And I said no to them. And then I just got a phone call from an agency who got me into the pantomime in Blackpool, and it turned out there was another person who said, well, I phoned up for your number and all. There's lots of people involved at the time. But so it was just chance, really. And I was just excited to come to Blackpool, because I grew up coming here for day trips and for holidays. To me, it's always been the capital. Never mind your Vegas. This is Vegas to anyone in England. So to get asked to do any kind of show here is an honour. But to actually get into the pantomime, and it's amazing now, thinking that having done 15 years, I'm a real part of the history of this building.
Oh God,
which is incredible. I mean, I'm more proud of that than anything else.
But then it's also part of your family history, because I know them all, that in fact I think I have as well. Your daughters every one of your 3 daughters have been in this show many times. In fact, I've performed. I've performed actually with all 3 of your girls, and they're super talented.
Yeah.
Well, I don't put you in a shade or anything. Steve.
No, they're the real stars of the show. That's what I tell them. They know, really. Daisy's the only one who's seen all my shows here. She was 10 months old when I first did pantomime here. She learnt to walk on these corridors outside here, because obviously quite narrow corridors. She used to walk with her hands on each side of the wall, and she did her first few steps on the very corridors.
So lots of family history for you.
Yeah, and then the girls, I always actually worried that I wouldn't be here long enough for them all to be in Panto with me. But now Lucy has just done her 4th one here. She'll actually get 5 just because of where her birthday falls.
Ah, okay.
Her birthday's at the end of November. Yeah, so she'll be doing a 5th one next year.
Wow.
And so she would have done 5, they'll do 4, so it's a lot of Panto, isn't it?
It is. Really? It's in the family.
Yeah.
What I can finish this video by saying is, you've still got enough time to come and see Cinderella on until Sunday.
Absolutely, yes, of course.
I think these are the best shows of the whole set. These are the best shows, because you all know the show back to front, inside out.
And I was saying messing about, but we do. There's lots of opportunity to improvise in this show. And especially the ballet scene. I mean, people have probably been talking about the ballet scene, but that's when it's just me and the girls, and it's just my job. I take it on board myself to just try and make those girls laugh naturally every time. I don't like false laughs.
No.
I've never liked that. I don't like people just going laugh and then keep it in. I like to know that it's actual, genuine laughs.
Well,
laughter, you know what
sometimes you're actual general funny.
So really.
Right, as I say then, you can get your tickets to see Cinderella now by visiting blackpoolgrand.co.uk, or give the gang in the box office a call on 01253 290 190.
I think that was a booking. It just came in on my phone, just straight away. It is. It works, this, doesn't it?